Hi everyone. The community I decided to focus on today is the Chesapeake Bay Foundation. I'm familiar with the group through a past project I did in college. Now, 2 years later, I would consider myself a spectator because I'm still involved in that. I follow them, read up on what they're doing and different legislation and what have you that are involved with the Chesapeake Bay Foundation, either for or against them, and but I don't really contribute much. The Chesapeake Bay Foundation, or CBF, is an environmentalist group with a focus on saving the Chesapeake Bay. Through a number of ways, they have advocacy, education programs, they lobby for new regulations and such like that. I was unable to get in touch with the CBF for concrete numbers other than what will follow very shortly, which isn't really much, but the foundation is quite large. Their executive leadership team is less than 10, I believe, and they do have paid employees, and they have interns, and they also have volunteers and donors, some of which are overlapping. They share very heavily with mailed and emailed newsletters. I actually got some freebie return address labels from them asking for a donation. And they also share through social media platforms. And they often share updates on the Bay's health and recent projects or legislation proposals. And the Bay also receives an annual health report card to see how progress is going, and the EPA and other environmental agencies gives environmentalist groups like the CBF goals to reach by a certain time to be able to clean up the pollution and what have you. The participation choice, like I said before, the full community number is unknown by me. I will have to do some more digging in order to figure that out. But there is a large following on social media platforms. For instance, the Facebook page has more than 20,000 people liking it. So there's a lot of knowledge and awareness about the community itself. And there's a high participation rate based on donations. I was looking at an annual report done by the foundation, and according to the fiscal year ended June 30th, 2012, membership contributions accounted for more than $5 million, which was only 16% of the total more than $31 million contribution up to June 30th, 2012. So, while I don't have anything concrete necessarily besides that, I think it would probably fall closer to the BBC's 23-60-17 range. There is a good bulk of activity. However, I do, like I said, I do wish I would have some extra time to look into how big it actually is. The value, donating or volunteering for such a good cause can be an uplifting experience. The Chesapeake Bay is beautiful, and the CBF offers people a chance to be part of this great effort to save and replenish the estuary. And it also gives a chance for some more social connection with like-minded people, and there's educational experiences through events and programs. I know when I was probably about 5th or 6th grade, my science teacher took us on a field trip to Annapolis, to the Bay, and we did some little science experiments, and it was really neat. And I know a lot of kids these days go and put oysters back in the Bay to help clean the water in there. As for my personas, they are all completely fictional. Like I said, I wasn't able to contact anyone from CBF, and I did lose contact with the actual communications coordinator who I spoke with through my other project a few years ago. But my creator, Patty G, she's a communications coordinator for the CBF. She worked as a marketing intern during college, moved up since landing her initial marketing assistant position. She's single, female, about 25 to 40. I looked up nonprofit salaries. They ranged from pretty low, like the 20 range, up to about the mid 40s as well. So I kind of just took a middle range at 35 to 45K. Suburban lifestyle, outgoing, upbeat. As a coordinator, probably delegates portions of inquiries to her staff while also taking on a number herself, and works with her team to learn different ways how to engage the audience further. As a marketing or communications person, she's probably active, but mostly intermediate, I would say, for web use, especially with social media. Keeps up to date on Baltimore Sun, Washington Post, New York Times, and environmental columns and blogs. Some quotes might be that she's passionate about the environment and the health of the Bay, and that they need to spread awareness and education so that more people support environmental reforms. And as a creator of Chesapeake Bay Foundation, Patty would need to be able to educate people in order to save and maintain the health of the Bay. A critic would be my Leonard D. Now, granted, my Leonard persona might be a bit idealistic, but let's say he's an associate attorney from a small law firm. He used to vacation at the Chesapeake Bay as a kid with his family. He is now married with 2 kids, ages 3 and 5. Male, age range 35 to 50. A dual household income about $170,000. In the suburbs. Very passionate and cutthroat, as most attorneys might seem, and he would be one to take breaks and check out what's new on the CBF social media and such like that. And lawyers like a good argument and debate, so he challenges different posts and also contributes some other interesting Bay and Maryland related environmental issues. His online activities are sporadic but basic to intermediate. He's active on social media personally, and also peruses news websites and environmental websites. He's interested in environmental issues surrounding the Bay due to his connection through fun family vacations as a youngster. And he also might think that people need to understand that things take time and thought. I start debates to uncover more ideas to take reforms to the next level, and that's where my idealist might come into play, by the thought process that the more people think about where they stand on things, maybe more ideas will come about, and then better ideas will turn into a healthier Chesapeake Bay. And his user story: as a critic of Chesapeake Bay Foundation, I need to be able to listen to other people's points of view in order to have healthy debates on environmental issues. Now, spectator, or joiner, like myself, maybe, or this Abby character, biology major in college, considering internship and career options and opportunities, and is interested in CBF's efforts from an environmental biology standpoint. She's in the age range of 18 to 22, female, low income, part-time jobs. She lives on a college campus, but let's say her parents live in a rural area, or excuse me. Her identifiers would be kind of bookish, always found in the library or the lab, studying, always trying to learn new things, especially on something interesting like the CBF. Online activities, as a college student in this day and age, probably pretty near expert on web activities, very active on social media platforms, probably especially Facebook, because I know that was a #1 procrastination device for me in college. CBF social media platforms, local news station websites, and job boards are probably something that she would also frequent. Some quotes could potentially be: I find how pollutants affect not only the water but the surrounding area fascinating. I've learned so much from the activists and opponents, which is kind of going off of the Lego explanation in Groundswell that the the joiner, the spectators, are learning from the contributions of the critics. And another quote would be, how can I make a difference with my education and experience level? Trying to see where she can go with some kind of environmental issue like the Chesapeake Bay. Her user story: as a spectator or joiner of Chesapeake Bay Foundation community, I need to be able to learn from people in order to maintain my presence in relation to the community and its interests in the Bay's health and find my place in it all. I'm interested to see how this class will develop by using Chesapeake Bay Foundation as my community, and I'm looking forward to seeing everybody else's presentations. Thanks. Have a great one.